The NFL playoffs kick off this weekend, but first, which non-playoff team is most likely to make the playoffs next season? Before we get into that, make sure you drop a like, make sure you comment and subscribe. And shout out to our guy right here for a dope comment on one of our recent videos. But Matt, man, let's get to this topic today, man. Which non-playoff team this season will make the postseason next year?
I think it's got to be the Detroit Lions. Ooh. I mean, they are, minus getting into the playoffs, you couldn't end the season better. You had Jamal Williams break Barry Sanders' record.
They could have beat the Carolina Panthers and not give up a franchise record rushing yards.
Okay,
but I'm with you.
You know what? Hang on, just let me preach a little bit here, okay? Just give me a sec. Not only that, but then you go into Lambeau Field, a place that obviously everyone in the NFC North kind of fears to some extent.
Not no more.
Exactly. Because they did that. Because Detroit went in, and in a game that mattered basically only to the Packers at that point, Detroit played harder, played with more passion, and ended up beating them and possibly ending the Aaron Rodgers era in Green Bay. And you know what? I could go back to something Herm Edwards said on our show a few weeks ago. Check out that interview. But he said one of the first things you got to do if you want to really be a contender is you got to be able to beat teams in your division twice. You got to win the division. They did that. They beat the Packers, who have been the heir apparent, and now it's just about dealing with Minnesota moving forward. Yeah. And we can get into the X's and O's, but this offense is set. You have a top 10 pick that you can go and get a defensive lineman, maybe even Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson. Give somebody to help Aiden Hutchinson, address the secondary, and you have a team that also has a lot of momentum, a lot of chemistry. They like each other, and
they play hard, man. They play for their coach.
They play for their coach. And you also have a offensive genius in Ben Johnson who needs to get approval. And honestly, you got to use him while you can because he's going to be hired pretty dang soon, if not this year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm with you. You know how I feel about the Detroit Lions. I don't need to say too much. I do got to shout out my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown because you mentioned him, one of my favorite young players in the entire NFL. Just a baller at the wide receiver position. So I love the Lions. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
There's just too much to talk about with Detroit. Too many positive things.
In fact, I completely agree with you because before this season, we asked the same question if the Lions can make the playoffs. And I said, as much as I love them, not yet.
We were close.
Not this season, but next season, I would expect the Lions to get in there. But for me, for purposes of this conversation, my answer is also another NFC North team. That's the Chicago Bears. And I know I get what you're saying. The Chicago Bears obviously have the number one pick in the 2023 NFL draft, which means they finished the 2022-23 season with the worst record in the NFL. Dead last. But I will remind you, the Bears went 3-14 this season. Okay. The Jaguars went 3-14 last year. They're in the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, your Detroit Lions, went 3-13-1 last season, and they were just a game away from making the playoffs this season. So certainly, if recent history tells us anything, is that you can quickly, in today's NFL, turn around an NFL franchise. That's what I envision the Chicago Bears doing, particularly GM Ryan Poles, who has the most cap space available in the entire NFL coming this offseason. Again, I mentioned he has the number one overall pick, who he'll likely trade out of to get more assets, even more great players, perhaps. But really, this comes down to Justin Fields, who I believe is on the verge of a breakout season and the verge of a breakout career. And
he already kind of had a breakout season.
he did. Obviously,
minus the interceptions.
Rushing for over 1,000 yards, something we haven't seen from the quarterback position only other than Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson. And we talked about this to reference another recent interview with Rich Gannon. Go check out that interview recently. He talked about the development of Jalen Hurts. I talked about the development of Josh Allen as soon as they get a number one receiver.
That's true.
I think that should be priority. Maybe not number one, but maybe 1A, 1B, 1C
it's up there,
for the Chicago Bears this offense to get Justin Fields, a guy at the wide receiver position. And if that happens, I think the sky's the limit for this quarterback, for this team and franchise. I think the Bears are going to shock a lot of people next season to go from last to making the playoffs.
And I mean, I like the connection you made specifically with Jacksonville because I think the salary cap situation is very similar. I mean, you saw Jacksonville throw a lot of money at Christian Kirk, which we all were like, really? Like that much?
And that man balled.
He did. He earned it. He absolutely earned it. And so that connection is definitely there. I think that Detroit is actually in a similar situation as far as trading back in the draft. If somebody wants to go get a quarterback, they're going to be able to because I think Jared Goff is actually their guy. Like that man has been proven. He's still young. He has made it to a Super Bowl.
Former number one overall pick.
Yeah, he's a former overall pick, and he gets the job done. He's not losing you games.
Yeah.
Like, you literally watch in a game that had all the importance for the Green Bay Packers. You watch Aaron Rodgers almost lose that game for the Packers, throwing 2 big picks. Jared Goff did what he needed to do.
Did Jared Goff outplay Aaron Rodgers in his last game as a Packer?
And like that O-line is stout. I love
it's one of the best units in the league.
I love the running game that they have because DeAndre Swift is so versatile, and so is Jamal Williams. They both can be third down backs.
Yep.
They both can be used in the receiving game. That offense, you could just continue to talk on and on about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, all that. It's just the defense. And Aiden Hutchinson actually stepped up and looked really good towards the end of the season.
He's a demon, man. And they also got another rookie pass rusher, Houston, who came on really strong the second half of the season. So the Lions got a lot going for them.
It's weird talking so positively about
Not for me
them.
anymore. I've already come to terms with this. I love what this franchise is doing.
I'm still getting used to it a little bit.
It's going to be fun season for the NFC North next season. I think we're both picking 2 NFC North teams to kind of make us splash. I think both of us are expecting Green Bay to take a step back if Aaron Rodgers is elsewhere. And I think, Minnesota Vikings kind of exceeded any expectations they had. The Vikings will Viking. But
I want to talk positively about Detroit.
That's going to do it for us for this episode of Simple Question. Make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bvmsports.com.